first of all? Who knows anything about property? Hey? Do you know who knows a bit about commercial property? Anybody else? Anybody know anything about property? Does anybody live in a house?
Yes.
Who lives in a house? Who lives in a house? You live in a house? Who lives in a flat? Okay. So none of you know anything about property. Does anybody know anything about business or marketing?
Yes.
What do you know about marketing? A lot? A little? A lot? Okay, just trying to get a feeling already where you guys are in terms of your understanding of business or property, because what we do is quite complicated, it's not simple. Who knows what negative equity is? You know what negative equity is? Angela, would you like to tell us?
Where you buy a property and then at the end of the day it's worth less than you paid for it.
Okay, who agrees with that? Who agrees with that? Does anybody understand what that means? No? Yes? Sorry? Because what we're going to do is cover what Angela just said, which is something called negative equity. So what I'm going to do is, because everybody seems quite sort of like new to understanding what property is, and nobody's put their hand up to explain what property is, I'm going to tell you the very basics of what it means, so that none of you have any confusion over what you've got to do. Basically, who is interested in making money? Who's interested in making money? Let's keep it simple.
Everyone.
No, not everybody's putting their hand up. It's only 2 people. So all the others don't want money, yeah? Nobody else is interested in making money. This man isn't interested in making money. Are you interested in making money?
Yes.
You are?
Yeah.
You?
Don't mind.
You don't mind? He's got enough money, yeah? Okay, so tell me 3 ways you can make money. The gentleman with the blue t-shirt. 3 ways you can make money in property.
From property, you can sell it.
That's one way, yeah? Any other way?
Rent it.
You can rent it out, that's a good idea, yep. Another way?
Leasing.
Sorry?
Leasing.
You
Lease out.
You can use it for your own business purpose.
Okay, that's very good. So I'll give him 10 out of 10 for understanding property, how you make money. Any other ways of making money in property? I think those are the 3 sort of common ways of making money. You can buy something, like anything, you can sell it. But the question is, how can you lose money in property? How could you lose money in property? I'll ask you the same question. How do you think you might lose money in property?
Price
If you
goes
do not
down.
get a good tenants,
Sorry?
if you do not get a good tenants and they will spoil the home.
Okay, that's one good reason. Any other reasons? You got flip chart?
When the price go down.
Okay. Can somebody be my scribe? Who's good at writing?
They're all right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, we're going to write down 4 or 5 ways that people lose money in property, yeah? So, first one is that price goes down. Somebody said price goes down, is that right?
Price go down.
Who said price goes down? This young lady here. What's your name? Sorry?
Ying.
Ying Lu. And you said bad tenants, this young lady over there, I can't remember which one now. Bad tenants, yeah? What else? How else can you lose money in property? Sorry? Damage. What else? I think Angela said the first one, which was, does anybody remember? Negative equity. So I want you to get that word negative equity in your heads, because 90% of the work that you're going to be doing is around something called negative equity. Yeah? Okay. So you're going to be consultants to me, yeah? Is that correct?
Yes.
No?
Yes. Yes.
If it's yes, put your hand up. So you guys aren't consultants for me because you haven't got your hands up. Is that right? Are you consultants to my company, or you're just going to sit here?
Consulting to your company.
Hey?
Your company.
Okay, so you have to put your hand up like that. That's putting your hand up. That's putting your hand down, yeah? Put your hands up. Hands up. Hands down. Hands up. Hands down. That's it. So who's a consultant to my company? Well done, just in time. We'll take on him otherwise. Okay. Let's try to warm you up, because the thing is that if you want to learn and actually work with what we're doing is not, it's actually quite sophisticated. And what I'm going to do is go into the presentation now and actually show you what we do. But it may be that it's too complicated if you don't understand the basics. So I wanted you to actually understand the basics first, so that you can then help the company with your advice. Otherwise, it can be very difficult for you. Okay. Who's good at reading? Who's good at reading? Who's good at reading? You are. What does that say?
Buy to let like dots, making financial gain or relate less pain.
Okay, I think she's going to be the best consultant because she's the first one to put her hand up. So I think you're going to do well. You're going to be very successful as a consultant. Yeah? So that group, I think, has got the best chance now because they've got one person who's willing to put their hand up and become a consultant and start talking to me. Because how are you going to consult me if you can't talk to me? Yeah, you have to talk to me to try and understand what we're doing. Okay, so what's your name?
My name is Sana.
Salah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sana.
You need to give your name to this gentleman here afterwards because you're looking for people that are going to be very sharp in business. And we're looking for people that are good and they want an internship over the summer holidays or something. So, well done. Putting your hand up. Okay. Making financial gain or a relentless pain. What that means is that a lot of people, I'm going to keep it very simple now, I'm going to give you all the answers. You don't have to worry about any more questions or worrying about putting your hands up anymore. But I wanted you to get you warmed up a bit. I'm going to do one more exercise to warm you up. I want you to stand up. Stand up for a second. Take your jackets off. Take your jackets off. It's a bit hot in here, isn't it? Can we open the windows a bit, do you think? Can we open the windows a bit, do you think? Or... Well done. There we go. Right, can anybody do that? Can do that? Namaste. Sit down now, Sastrikal as well. Okay. Basically what's happened is that what I'm going to talk to you about is something that's really meaningful. So for you as consultants, this could change your life because you're going to affect the change in people's lives. Who wants to make a difference in people's lives? Put your hand up. Who wants to make a difference in people's lives? Okay, so the question is, what does our company do? There's a clue here. It says rescue my properties. The clue is that a lot of people in this country are suffering because they've gone and bought lots of properties. They're living in a house with the value of the property they bought for £100,000. They bought it for £100,000. Their mortgage is, let's say, £80,000. They put a £20,000 deposit in, but now the value of the house has gone from £100,000 to £50,000. It's not happening in London, maybe not so much in Luton either, but it's actually happening very commonly across the northern part of the country. Is slowly happening all the way down, coming towards London. Who is aware of what I'm talking about? Who understands what I'm saying? Does it make sense?
Yes.
Has anybody had that experience in their family or their friends? Has anybody have seen that happen before?
Actually, I have seen that my friend is living in Bradford and the rent is very low. It's not very much high
Right.
because it's far away from London.
Okay. Has anybody seen it before anywhere else? Anybody over here?
I've seen the other way around, appreciation.
Appreciation, yeah?
Not
Which country is it? India, Malaysia. Anybody else understand what I'm talking about? Yeah.
I know that my brother-in-law, he
Yeah.
bought one house around 2007.
Right.
It was cost 280 something. Now
Okay.
he is saying that now if he sells, he will get around only 240.
Okay. So basically there's two examples of people that have got potential issues because of property. The thing is that the question is, why do you think it's happening? And why do you think it's happening? Any ideas? Economic crisis. Any other reasons? Sorry?
Because of law and order situation, government policies.
Sorry?
Some government policies.
Government policies could be lots of things. But the main reasons are that about 8 years ago, all the banks had lots of money. And they lent a lot of money, but the prices have gone down. Now all the banks are having big problems. So the government has actually bailed out quite a lot of the banks like Mortgage Express, Northern Rock, RBS, Lloyds TSB. In fact, just list all the banks because they probably all need help, yeah? So what we're doing is that we are the Robin Hoods of the landlord. Do you know who knows who Robin Hood was? Have you heard of him? Robin Hood of Sherwood Forest. Who knows who Robin Hood was? Yeah, what did Robin Hood do?
He was robbing only the rich people.
Okay,
And
giving to the poor.
helping, from that money helping
The poor. That's right. So basically, we're a little bit like that. We helping the people that are now in trouble. It's not quite the same because we're not robbing the rich to give to the poor. But what we're doing is we are fighting with the banks to help the poor because the banks are now going and taking the properties over. Everything that I'm talking about has already happened in America. You should make a note, type in the word tent city. T-E-N-T, tent city. Into the internet, because there's hundreds of thousands of people which are homeless, living in shanty towns and fields in little green tents. And if you type in YouTube, there's lots of comedies or funny jokes about it as well, with people sitting in a tent doing all sorts of funny things. Okay? So what I've prepared for you today, I think it's going to be, I'm going to keep it quite simple. But basically the main reason I'm here today to talk to you is to look at how we can probably help these landlords and how we can get more of them to talk to. That's as simple as that. We started off with 4 people in the company about 5 years ago, and we helped somebody who had 100 properties with this problem. So they had international holdings. They had about 7 different companies. They have properties in Malaysia, Florida, all sorts of places. They had 30 properties in London, 30 in Wales, 30 all around the country. They had development projects, commercial projects, had a personal house, family, kids, everything. We went in and actually did a rescue operation as a consultancy to help them. Yeah. So where we are now is we're looking to try and get more people that we can help with this problem. Now, clever analogy to explain what we do is that there are thousands of alcoholics out there, but alcoholics are in denial. They're not going to come and say, look, I drink a lot of alcohol, come and help me. They're going to say, leave me alone, I'm okay. So it's the same thing with the problem with the property, where people have gone out and they've found that they've got a problem with their property, but they're now very sad, they're very guilty, they may have a relationship issue, they may have bailiffs or people knocking on the door saying, give me money. So they may have credit card issues. All these sort of things are there. And what I'm going to do is, the sort of consultancy work you're going to do for me is going to be very simple, because I'm going to give you all the answers. But what I want you to do is, I'm going to give you lots of information. So you're actually going to get a complete understanding of what our business does. So you don't have to do anything difficult as consultants. You've got to do the easy bit. Do you know what the easy bit is?
Get more clients, get more simple and landlords.
Yeah, very clever. So you get 2 branding points. We want to find out how to get more landlords, and you have to try and work out how do we speak to more landlords, because they're in denial, they don't want to talk to anybody. Does everybody understand
Yes.
what I mean? So what I want from you guys is to start thinking. It's a bit like, just imagine, where's my phone then? I'll put my phone, so iPhone is over there, okay. Imagine that we are, who's heard of the company called Apple before? Have you heard of something called Apple? iPhone? Yeah? Imagine that we are iPhone 1 year before they're launched. So we do property consultancy, we do property finance, we do business consultancy for people with large portfolios. We work with people who've got all sorts of business problems. We help businesses to grow. So in the same way, Apple has got a Macintosh, they've got a laptop version, but then they want to launch iPad and iPhone onto the market. So what you're doing is somewhat, I'm going to tell you what we're already doing. So it's going to be very easy for you to do this exercise, because I'm going to tell you what we want to do, but I want you to use this bit over here and think how clever or shrewd you are. Who's clever here? Who's clever? You guys are clever, yeah? Who's shrewd? Angela's shrewd. What's the difference between shrewd and clever? What's the difference between shrewd and clever? Do you think I'm shrewd or do you think I'm clever? Hey? Hey? Do you think I'm cheeky?
Not sure.
Not sure. Okay, shrewd means that if you're shrewd, that means that you're probably like to be a good business person, because you'll find an angle on something, find an answer to something that's not A, B, C. So in business, shrewdness would be 1 + 1 = 100. Yeah? Cleverness would be 1 + 1 = 2. Because you're clever, because you can work it out. And 1 + 1 - 2 would mean that you're not clever. Yeah? Does that make sense? So who's shrewd? Who's shrewd? If you're going to be my consultants, you're going to have to be shrewd, yeah? Clever, I've got enough people working in my company who are clever. So the whole point of you having this exercise with me is that I'm going to work with you to give you all the clever answers, which I've already got. I've probably got some shrewd answers which I'm going to give you as well. But because you guys are the shrewd ones, right? I know secretly a lot of you wanted to put your hands up, but you're a bit shy. So I think all of you have got the ability to be very good at getting me other answers which I may not have thought of, or our business may not have thought of. Now, who's shrewd? This lady's shrewd. What's your name? Seema is shrewd. What's your name?
Vignesh.
Sorry?
Vignesh.
Vignesh is shrewd. This lady over there, she's shrewd as well. You're shrewd. You look shrewd anyway. Who else is shrewd? Is anybody shrewd in this table?
Still, I
Shrewd.
go with clever.
You're clever, yeah? Okay. So we've got two tables which are now outperforming all the others. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, they're talking. All the others are keeping quiet. Seema is now representing this table. She's like really sort of out there now. Yeah? Okay. So what I'm going to do is get into the detail now. I think I just wanted to give you the overview of what we're doing in terms of negative equity. How much time do I have? Half an hour. Okay. That was the difficult part. Now I'm going to do the easy part, which is just tell you the detail. Yeah? That's it. Yeah, got that? Got that? Got that? All right, all done. Yeah? You happy with that?
Are you?
I'm not. Okay, what I'm going to do is background to the company. I'm giving you a little bit of background already. Background to Rescue My Properties is that we are, like the iPhone, like I said, the only property company in the UK that goes and helps people that are distressed landlords. We've got a problem. Nobody in the market is doing that. But we spent 5 years developing the product. So, question is, what is it literally that we do? I'm going to explain it to you very quickly, so I keep it very, very simple. I get two types of clients. You may need to make a note of this, yeah? Somebody's got £2 million house. We're talking about money here as well. So if you listen to me, you'll probably make a lot of money, because it is all about money. There's no point in really studying if you don't understand how money is being made. If you can understand what I'm saying and actually get it, then there may be an opportunity for you to be making money. So the incentive is money, and then the other incentive is knowledge. Yeah? Okay. Client comes to me, he's got £2 million mansion over here, and he's gone and bought 50 properties over here. He bought them 7 years ago. All the property prices, let's say all his 50 properties are worth £5 million now. But when he gets an estate agent to do a valuation on the properties, they work out to be worth about 3 million. And the debt on the properties is 4 million. So what's the total loss he's going to make if he sells them? I think you're going to be good consultants. Okay, so 1 million shortfall. So is he in a good position or a bad position?
Bad.
Okay, that's good. We're heading in the right direction. So, problem he's got, if interest rates went up today, what's going to happen?
They need to pay more mortgage.
The interest of the bank will go a bit.
The interest of the bank's going to go up. What's going to happen to it? What's the impact?
Impact the lender has to pay more mortgage.
He's going to pay a lot more mortgage. Is he going to be able to afford it? Not going to be able to afford it. Interest rates went up quite high quickly. He's going to lose everything, like that. It's going to go bang. Right? So he's probably going to be, if the bank takes them over and sells them, how much do you think the loss is going to be?
Whole property.
How much loss do you think there'll be in total?
4 million.
How much? Roughly. I don't know about the numbers. 5 million is the, how would you say, the total amount of, the total debt is 4 million.
So even you pay the, like few years, the mortgage already paid, so it will be more, like 5 million or 6 million, 5 million roughly.
Well, I'll give you the details anyway. Basically, you probably bought the portfolio for about 6 or 7 million about 8 years ago. The value now is 3 million. The debt is 4 million. So there's a 1 million shortfall. The bank takes it over. This is the bit you won't believe. The bank will probably sell it for 2 million. So if you're clever, what should you be doing? You should be buying it for 2 million, yeah? From me. Who's got money? Who's got money? He has. He wants to buy. He said he doesn't need to worry about money. So he's going to buy from me. He's going to be one of my buyers. Well, his dad's got money anyway.
Same.
Hey?
Same thing.
Say again?
It's the same thing.
The same thing. Okay, good. So basically, what we do is the £2 million that he's got in his mansion, we actually advise him how to actually structure that. Any debts he's got, any credit cards, any companies, we actually help him to advise him to deal with all the good money he's got. And then, all done legally, using all proper structures. Then all the bad assets he's got, which is 50 properties, what we do with them is actually we manage them for him. Typically speaking, a letting agent would charge 10% for managing them, or 12%. What we do is we charge 4%. So monthly he's going to be making more money from us. And what we also do is we change his address from his home address to our address. So if problems occur, the bank won't be knocking on his door, especially if you've got young children. And what we do is then we negotiate the debt with the bank, and we sell these properties on at £5,000 per property to clients. And 50% of that money goes back to our client after all legal costs. So on 50 properties, after legal costs, he's going to make £2,000 per asset, which works out to £100,000 per asset. That's what he's going to make. But the key thing for him is that he's got a peace of mind, because we're taking every single problem away from him. That's why we're called RescueMyProperties.com. So that's in essence what we do, and we're quite sophisticated in what we do as well. It's not. I just meet somebody and say I've got problems, and I say I'll sort it out. Don't worry. So we've actually got systems in place. We've got people in place. We've got a team in place. I'm going to show you all of that now. So I'll quickly show you the team as well. Give me 1 second. So this will help you to possibly get a better idea of where you are. By the way, all this information will also be supplied to you. Yeah? You're going to have access to all the information I'm going to show you today, so there's going to be nothing hidden from you about what we do and don't do. So, okay, that's me over here. I work with clients day in, day out. I just speak to clients all day long and I meet with them. I don't really get out of the office. It's the first time I'm talking to this many people, because I'm quite shy. I don't really get out very much. Yeah? I'm responsible. I'm one of the directors of the company. The other director is a guy called Salim Nawaz. He heads up the business consultancy side of the division. We're actually a consultancy. So we're doing the same job you do. We're consultants to companies. So the other person is a guy called Marcus Stanford. He's the sales director. He manages all the staff that manage the process of getting leads in. Some of these names are actually aliases, means that they're on social media to try and get more business in. Some of them are not real people. They're aliases, about 3 or 4 of them, but all the others are real. So David Henry is over here. He works in e-marketing. He's got the camera in his hand. Yeah, he looks like a student. Yeah, still young.
Yeah.
This is T. Smith. That actually deals with all like debt issues, like credit cards, all these sort of things that occur. Andreas looks after our legal team. They negotiate the debt with the bank for the properties that we take over. We basically let and manage them and control them, and we negotiate the debt with the bank. And we have a UK-wide letting operation as well that actually manages and lets all the properties out to clients. And then we have a sales department that actually sells the properties to buyers as well. We've got cash funds, high net people, or people that want to buy it in a local area as a residential property for themselves. Does all of this make sense?
Yes.
Anybody not sure or clear about what we do? Now's a good time to ask questions, because you may not see me ever again. Well, will see me again, but you may not see me to be able to ask me questions like you have now. But does the basics make sense? Because I'm going to go into a lot of detail. I'm going to flick through things very quickly. Are you ready for the next bit? Because I'm going to flick through them quicker. They'll give you like a high-level overview of all these different diagrams and different things that are happening in the company. I'll flick them fairly quickly anyway. I mean, here it does tell you what each department does, so you've got an understanding. But that's the overview of the organisation. So our solution basically is as damning as the MP's expensive scandal and as lucrative as the PPI claims. You know what the PPI claims are?
What?
Who knows?
Payment protection plan.
Do you know what PPI claims are? Sorry? Payment protection. You guys know? You guys know what PPI claims are? You know that? You understand what PPI claims are? One person needs to understand on your table and they can explain it to the others. You know what PPI claims are? No? PPI claims? No? PPI claims? Basically, about 3 years ago, 4 years ago, maybe the last 10 years, a lot of banks sold some policies to people for, I think it was just employment insurance or something, I'm not sure exactly what, payment protection against them losing their job or other insurances, but they were missold. Basically, you could call it lying to somebody and selling them something that they're not going to be able to use. So somebody took them to court and they have to pay, I think, 20-30 billion pounds worth of money back out to whoever actually took out those insurances. So that's called PPI claims. So what we're doing is something similar, but we haven't gotten to court yet, but we have actually got barrister cases going on with a lot of the banks, and the banks know me, know my name, and they don't like me. You understand? Because they know that we're going to cause problems for them doing the same thing. So Lakhi Singh is actually is a thorn in the side to the banks. Can you imagine that? So what problem are we solving in the market? We're helping people that are distressed, sad, got a lot of credit card debt issues on their head that need to deal with. Who are the target audiences? All landlords. It could be, ideally speaking, as an organisation, we target people with 10 or 20 properties, but we also help people who maybe have one property who've got problems as well. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats. Who knows what a SWOT is?
Strengths, weaknesses, and threats.
Who is a SWOT? Who is a SWOT?
It's an analysis.
Yeah, but who is a SWOT?
Sorry, the mechanism through which we can find out our strength and
Weaknesses and opportunities, threats. It's also a joke because SWOT also means somebody who works hard. So who's a SWOT? None of you are SWOTs?
We work smart, not hard.
Yeah? He's getting shrewd now. He wasn't really clever after all, he's shrewd. Okay, current strategy and tactics. This is what we currently do in marketing department. What I want to find out from you guys is, what is it that you're going to bring to the table to actually add to our marketing department? I've got 9 questions which I've got for you, but out of those 9, I'm probably going to choose about 1 or maybe 2 that I want you to focus on, and I'll be setting those. But I can make it as easy as hard as you want it to be. Who wants it easy? Who wants the easy homework and consultancy work? Who wants it very, very easy? He doesn't. He wants to work hard. Okay, good. Right. 90% of our resources actually focus on actually targeting a database of 10,000 landlords we've already got from a training company. They've trained lots of people up on how to go and buy property from the market. So we've got a database of 10,000, and we're just hiring staff now, which is we've already got 3 staff, 1 marketing manager, and 2 marketeers, And cold call script, we've got 4 part-time staff that do sales. So we're already beginning to attack that database, but all this staff has only been hired in the last about 4 weeks. So David Henry, who's in e-marketing, has only started 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, 3 weeks ago.
3.5 weeks ago. So all this is new. Social media, we've got 16,000 connections on social media. On my Facebook, I think I've got about 5,500, and on my LinkedIn is about, I think it says 64,000, but it's a lot less. That's just marketing. Okay? So we also target business to business, which we haven't really pushed, but we target associations like something called the Regional Landlord Association, Residential Landlord Association, which you might want to take a note of, and also the National Landlords Association, which you may also want to take a note of. Yeah? Because they've got a database of 100,000 each. But I want to find a clever way of actually, one of your tasks is how do I get more landlords on my books? And what clever marketing or marketing strategies or PR strategies we should be using to get those. So how do we get our current business? Most of our business is coming from social media and personal referrals from introducers. So we haven't really done a lot of proper marketing, because I've been in the property industry for about 20 years, and I've probably done about 500 property transactions in the last 20 years. I probably know enough people to get a lot of business. But we're now moving away from the Lakhi model, which is just me, to an organizational model, because we're growing as a company. We've got about, we had about 6 or 7 staff about 4 weeks ago. Now we've got about 14 staff as of Monday. We're going to have 14 staff working for us. We've doubled staff over the last 4 weeks. So if that's what's happened in the last 4 weeks, what do you think is going to happen a year from now? So what I need to do is I need to bring more business in to actually be able to scale up the business. And what I'm looking for you to do is say, look, this is how you should be going out to get more landlords on your books. You can find them from this association, or you can go to these events or these forums. But if you're not very familiar with what landlords do, what they don't do, what their habits are, this is going to be part of the fun of you learning, isn't it? That's why you're here. But like I said to you, I've made your job very easy, because I'm going to tell you exactly what I do already. So you've got to try and be a bit more clever. And I could probably tell you how to be clever as well, which is you can go to Google, do your searches and learn about what we do. You can go to my Facebook and actually see the last 400 or so messages I put on share on my LinkedIn, on Facebook. You can go to David Henry's email and actually see what he's putting up every day to actually already know what we're doing in marketing. What I want to know from you is what is it that you guys are doing that's actually going to be pushing us into a position where we are seen to be the iPhone of the property industry. That's your challenge. Who's confident that they can help me? Is this the best response you've had so far today? Is it working? Yeah? I like your confidence. Who reckons that they could propel us to be better than iPhone in terms of their marketing strategy? Who's that confident? Okay, what's your name? Right, you're going to come and work for us, yeah? I like the confidence. Okay, so I'll be showing you that. So my background, not too important, but basically worked in 20 years for large corporates, Deloitte, AT&T, NCR, Parliament, Department of Trade and Industry. Worked for Patricia Hewitt for about a year as a marketing consultant, and so been around corporate life for about 20 years. Done the postgraduate diploma in management as well, HND business and finance, diploma in marketing as well. So your task is, I've got 9 tasks. I'm going to probably pick 3 of them, which I think probably be most suitable to you. I sort of picked up quite a lot, but I'm going to try and simplify you down to about 3. So I'm going to go through some of these questions. How do we ensure that we take first mover advantage in this untapped market? Please provide a strategy and implementation plan using existing work to support and enhance your thinking, as we have 5 years experience in knowing our market. Or how do we speak to these clients and become known to be the only provider of these solutions in the UK? Or how do we get their data at zero cost without spending a fortune buying data or resources to market to them? It could just be that we just give you that. But I'm going to give you the others as well, so you give you a flavour of what I'm thinking at least. So it'll give you more depth in terms of the answers you're going to provide. Next one is, what PR and marketing communication strategies, tactics and plans can be used to position Rescuable Properties as a leader in the UK market? What strategies have worked in this type of scenario and what is best practice? What is the best CRM system to use to get new client data capture sheet attached and also a process chart of how we follow up with leads, e.g. CRM Salesforce? So, and last sets of questions was, don't delay, claim today was a well-known Ppi Claim marketing campaign used on BritAsia quite a lot. It was an Asian guy actually that did it. Was a well-known marketing campaign used by a Ppi company. Please come up with 10 potential campaign slogans and emails, marketing shots to get business by connecting with landlords. I've attached some from some of our brainstorming to give you a heads up on our own internal ideas. So that's one possibility. How can we improve the sales scripts and email scripts to get a higher conversion? And what other business strategies can be adopted allow us to get access to landlord information, e.g. county court listings, people, property, blah, blah, blah. So I think what I'm going to do is from these 9, I'm going to pick 3 based upon advice of Zubin. Is there anything, particular ones that actually come to mind?
That's that top one there.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is just pick one that Zubin decides because he's now got a flavour. He knows you guys better than I do in terms of what's going to work for you in your program, in your consultancy. So I'm going to just highlight the ones that we are going to use. Hold on 1 second. So that one there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make that red. Yeah. Anything else?
Maybe that's the one on the previous page.
What PR and marketing communications tactical plans we use to position us in the UK market leader? Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe that second one there as well.
What strategy has worked in this type of scenario? What's the best practice? Okay, so I'm just happy to go with whatever Zubin suggests because he knows the context of what the other ones you've had today, and which ones probably be best contextually from a learning perspective as well. Yeah. What we'll do so that's the ones you're going to do. What PR marketing communication strategies, tactics and plans can be used to position the RMP as a leader in the UK market? And what strategies work in this type of scenario and what is best practice? So for example, what strategy that worked in this type of scenario is Foxtons. Have you heard of a company called Foxtons? Anybody of Foxtons? Have you heard of Foxtons?
Yes.
They're probably one of the leading property companies in London. We started off with just one branch, but they've expanded to about 50. So, what PR and communication strategies, tactics and plans we use to position the RMP leader in the UK market? We're already positioning ourselves. I'm going to give you a presentation from something called a letting seminars that we do. So we're already positioning ourselves as lettings agents, and we're already positioning ourselves on the social media scene as well. So what I want you to do is think out of the box and come up with your own ideas and strategies. I'm going to give you lots and lots of stuff that we've done already, which I'm going to quickly just sit down and just flick through lots of bits. So just don't worry about if you don't pick anything up. I'm just going to quickly just go through lots of things, which will just give you some background. I presume I run out of time.
So another 5 minutes or so.
Another 5 minutes. So can I do 10 minutes quickly?
Yeah.
I think the warm-up took me at least about half an hour to warm them up. Save that. This is just a quick presentation that we do to new associates that start with the company who actually bring business to the company. That's the old logo of the company, but I'll just show you quickly. So that's basically how we pick up clients. Actually, we try to bring them in for meetings to the office. Yeah. You'll be given this. You don't need to take notes, but you'll be given all this. So we meet with them for a one-to-one consultation, do an assessment of their requirements, signing of agreements. If you go to rescuemyproperties.com, which is our main website, it tells you all of what we do anyway. Right? It'll tell you the whole process. And there's another website. I'm going to give you all those websites as well, part of the presentation. So that's all the different bits of information that we collect. This is what we, the different bits of data sheets that we collect. I'm just going to flick through them very quickly to give you an idea. We get a personal data information. We look at each person's portfolio, look at their income and expenses, rental income history, mortgage payment history, statutory costs they've got to pay, tenancy details of the tenants that they've got, lender details, utility companies. This is more introducer agreements. We also, on our website, there's also a 24-page document which tells you exactly what we do to communicate to clients and tell them what we do. So like I said, you're going to have an abundance of information. A lot of it is kind of decipher through the information, try and keep it simple to work out. Look at fresh way. So what you're going to do is you're going to be looking at us as a, just going to try and be like a branding expert and think, okay, how do they become the gurus? How do they become like McDonald's or something? Everybody knows them instantly, that they are the leaders. Yeah. So
how many of you watch TV? Yeah, you all watch TV? If I said to you the words Churchill, what comes to mind immediately?
Insurance company.
Insurance company. What did Churchill use?
It's a dog.
That stupid, annoying dog, right? That stands there or sits there and shakes its head. Oh yes. Yeah. So, you know, I think earlier on when Lakhi was talking about the 10 slogans, you know, look, essentially what we're talking about is propelling the excellent work that's already been done, but to a much bigger audience. How are you going to take what happens here and really throw it out there in the space of 2 years, 3 years? How does it become a household name? Just as, you know, how many of you actually bought a insurance policy from Churchill? None, right? But 98% of the audience here have heard about it, right? You know that Churchill sell insurance, which is job done, isn't it? As far as Churchill are concerned, that's job done. Whatever strategies they implemented, they've managed to get the majority of the marketplace to have that in the back of their head. So the next time you're thinking about buying insurance, car insurance, that Churchill will be one of those that are in your mindset. Yeah? One of those that are in the choice set. So are you going to be able to do the same for RescueMyProperties.com? Regardless of whether the market actually wants to buy or not, or wants to engage, but perhaps, am I right, Lakhi? That
Yep.
as a brand,
Yep.
it should be in there, right?
Yep. So basically, the other important point for you to note is that for the last 3 years, we've been working upstream, and that it's been like skiing uphill. We are beginning to ski downhill now because the market is so bad, so everybody is in trouble who's got properties. So we're getting a lot of demand. So I'm so busy now setting up the systems and structures for the company that we've got unprecedented demand for people with property problems. So the question is, you've got to think about the psyche of the people now, because people have suddenly woken up and said, okay, actually, the newspapers were lying to me for the last 10 years. Now I know my grocery bills have doubled. You know, is it expensive to eat in this country? Is food very expensive?
Yeah.
It's actually doubled in 3 years, the price of food here, roughly. Probably, my grocery bill was £70, about £70 for a typical grocery bill in over 2 weeks. Now it's about 140 for the same food. So things are going to get a lot worse. So we're basically sitting on a captive market. The question is, how do we've already got lots of clever ideas that people come to us about virals and YouTube and things like that. All that stuff is I'm going to let you do, but I actually don't really want just the idea. I actually want you to know what we're going to say, what we're going to do, how it's going to be done, when it should be rolled out, and can we do it at minimal and no cost, or is there any clever marketing way of doing it? So this is what I want to know. Stuff like that I already know. I'm already like really well marketed. I'm the head of marketing and sales for the company. Yeah. So I'm going to just quickly. These are some testimonials. All this stuff I'll give to you anyway. Just trying to work out what else you need to know, to be honest. I think this is too much detail for you. I'm going to quickly just show you one or two other bits, which I think will probably help you a little bit more. This is probably something quite useful as well, a document that's produced by an external consultant. She's basically put together little pitches to a property source or somebody who actually finds property, because they deal with landlords quite a lot. Networking organisations, people that actually organise seminars for people that are involved in property investment, and lettings agents. So these are the typical pitches we may say to them on the phone to try and get more business out of them. So typical pitch to maybe landlord association organisations, but she hasn't really finished all the other pitches. So this is the sort of thing that you could be looking at, thinking, okay, well, you could be cleverly pitching, but I don't really want you to tell me, yeah, I could be pitching to them. I know that I can pitch to them. I want to know what we need to be pitching to them, what's a clever message we could do to try and get the message across. You understand? So I think that's pretty much what I want you to do. I'll go back to the presentation and actually just finish off a few more slides, which would... So I'm going to provide you all the PowerPoint slides, this presentation itself, our organisation chart. These are the websites you need to probably look at for our company. So mc4u.com is our consultancy website, which is a bit like the equivalent of, well, it's the umbrella structure of the company. The solution that we provide is that one there. The Rescue My Properties is our spearhead to our marketing. That's what we use to try and say that this is our iPhone. So this is equivalent of an iPhone. This is the equivalent of just selling, let's just say, the Bog-Standard Apple Mac. That's the equivalent of selling maybe a laptop. And that's the equivalent of probably selling an Ipod, in terms of, to give you another angle in terms of understanding what we do, not in the property market. This is more of finance, to help people with short-term finance. This is pretty much as it's on the tin. You know, in Dragon's Den they say, you want to hear it as from the tin, rescuemyproperties.com is as it's on the tin. Then I'm going to give you drafts of our social media department of all the different marketing plans they've done, which is probably about 30-40 documents, but they're not completed. So you can actually have all of those as part of your things to look at. And they're things for you to play around with, to look at. They're not, you can use them or you don't use them, it's up to you. But I'm going to be completing a lot of them in the next, over the weekend, to actually get them ready, because we've got a lot of new staff starting. I've got a sales director starting on Tuesday. I've got three sales staff starting in the next 3 days. So we're doing this stuff anyway, and the opportunity for you is to try and be a couple of steps ahead of me and say, look, this is how you can do things better here with these particular bits. Well, this is how I would do it, because I'm the expert, I'm the guru, as a guru of marketing. Yeah? That's pretty much the presentation. Is there any questions or anything like that from anybody? Yeah.
Well, I want to ask Zubin, not you, sorry.
Sure, that's fine.
I'm a finance student, so how is this going to help me in finance?
Okay.
What do you think? Because the three things you selected there, those are all about marketing, branding, strategy.
Okay.
How is going to help me in finance?
Okay, in putting together the marketing solutions, if you like. Okay, let me ask you, what role do you think you can play in your
Well, I want to be an accountant.
Hmm?
Accountant.
Right, and what does an accountant do?
Well, manage the finance.
Just
taking
manage the
decisions,
finance?
Taking decisions. Yeah.
Taking decisions on what? On the financial viability of the solutions that the team perhaps come up with, right? So do you not think that you will have a say as the finance representative as regards the financial viability of the solutions of the
That's
team?
more to
Perhaps?
do with marketing, isn't it? That's what we've been taught in the class.
Zubik, I've got an answer.
Yeah, go on.
It's very simple. I'm actually the head of sales and marketing, and I've actually had to do a sales and marketing forecast for a
That's
budget.
more management accounting.
It's management accounting, but it's finance, and then to actually do a budget of all the costs to actually implement a lot of the solutions that we've got. I mean, what you could do as part of what your module is to sort of say, because the thing is, it's bringing value, isn't it? You can say, here are the costs of actually rolling this out. This is the return that you'd be getting. It's not quite just accountancy. It's actually just budgeting and forecasting. But that could be a financial bit that you could add to your bit. But now giving that little nugget to you, everybody else could also use it as well. So if anybody wants to actually put, the thing is that if you cost things out as part of your planning and cost-benefit analysis of actually certain solutions that you're going to put to your marketing director, then it's probably going to be better for me to make a decision and say, look,
It's okay to go back to those topics, please.
sorry?
Those three topics that you used earlier.
Yeah,
Can you go
yeah, I
back
can
to
go back
that?
in.
So that's more to do with the branding, right?
Yeah, that one is more to do with slogans,
Slogans,
coming up
branding.
with clever slogans.
How do you go to the
This one,
customers?
what the marketing communication strategies, tactics and plans can you use to position the RMP as a leader in the UK market? What strategies have worked for the type of scenario and what is best practice?
So that's marketing again.
Yeah.
Well, the second one doesn't have to be marketing. Let me just, sorry, I'm gonna cut it short, okay? Because a simple answer to what you're trying to get at, okay, is that you're actually not on an accounting degree. You're on a degree that says MSc,
Finance, yeah.
Finance and Business Management.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, and
So
so
it's
that
pretty
role
anything finance,
is
yeah.
part of the team, okay, and when the whole point of this exercise. The whole point of this exercise is that you're thrown into a real life situation where you're working with a team of people. Okay, let me just ask you, which this is your group here, yes? Okay, which program are you on? MBM. Okay, so marketing and business management. Marketing. International business. You're on finance. 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 Okay, so you have a nice spread there. You have international. You have 2 marketers, and you've got 3 finance people there. Yeah? Now, did you know who the group was going to be made up of beforehand?
We know the name.
You knew the names, but you didn't know where people were coming from. Okay? And that's the idea, that when you actually go out into the real world at the end of your degree program, you're going to be thrown together with teams of people who have different expertise, different ideas, and you're going to have to come up with a solution to an organizational problem. Now, that organizational problem may not always be in your specific discipline. But gone are the days where just one discipline ruled. Okay, now everyone needs to have an understanding, or at least an overview of everybody else's discipline. So think of it in that shape or form. Yeah.
Can I get something in this, like what we are doing this to save the landlords, to save their finance. So it's all about financing, I
Absolutely.
think.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Okay. So, thank you for your attention, folks. I'd like to thank Lakhi Singh for coming in this afternoon for a very interesting presentation. I think it's exciting times as far as the property market is concerned. What I'd also like to do is to just remind you once again that if you have any questions, please collate them in your groups and then email me in the first instance. and I will try and field all of those questions, but undoubtedly